Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you from the world famous Button Club. I'm here with the proprietor, Joel Maisel, otherwise known as Michael Zegen. Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
You're my first.
First what?
You're my first interview.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
So you will always be my first.
I don't know what to say about that.
Let's pop some cherries and get this going. Now, you've done a lot of theater and you've done a lot of film and television. You've done it all. Now, in this show, in Maisel, which is such a gift, you know, Amy Sherman-Palladino, developing this world for people is so crucial and important, and it's obviously really connected with people, you know? I bet you get a little of that tingle when you do those big oneer shots, because that's like a cross between theater and film.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk to me about the oneers, because for any performer out there, it's like stand-up, it's like theater, you know, there's a lot on the line. You can't screw it up because you'll sabotage it for everyone else. What do you say to yourself?
I see it as a challenge, and I'm up for it. To me, they're the most fun.
High stakes.
Yeah, high stakes. You don't want to mess up, but if you do, it's okay. You can go back to the beginning.
Have you ever messed up?
Of course.
What do you say to everyone? Oh, I'm so sorry, oops.
Yeah, and everybody understands because we all mess up at some point. But yeah,
They probably want to kill you, but they get it at the same time.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to be on the other end of it either, though. But
No.
it's so funny. When it's not you, you judge, and when it's you, you're like, oh, God.
But we just did a big oneer for this last episode that we filmed, and typically we don't even know that we're going to be doing a oneer. You know, it was 4 different scenes. It was 4 scenes, and then we show up, and Amy decided we're going to just mesh them all together, and you know, so it's like you come down a hallway, you walk into a room, you do a scene in the room, then you come out of the room, do a scene in the hallway, and it's nerve-wracking, but that's what makes it so much fun.
You see it. You feel the energy. You feel the intensity of like, something's happening here, and I'm in the middle of a live act.
Right.
You know? And listen, editing is an art too, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
They're both valid, but I love, you know, the baseball scene that got a lot of recognition, and these risks that you guys take, because you got to work together as a team.
The baseball scene was another one where we didn't know coming into it that it was going to be all in one shot. And it actually was a little longer. They cut some of it off the end, but I mean, you know, and we have to hit every baseball that, you know, we throw up. So so that was tough, and it definitely didn't happen in one take. You know, it was take after take after take.
But you get that feeling after a take, right?
Oh, totally.
You're like, that's the one.
Yeah.
I hope they use that one.
Yeah.
Sort of like
it's usually the last one.
Well, yeah, because they're like, let's move on.
Yeah.
One thing I really want to talk to you about that I love about the show is that a woman created it, you know, with her husband. Mm-hmm. And it's about a marriage, a couple. Yeah, maybe they're divorced, but let's face it, once you have kids, you're never divorced. What a ridiculous word, divorced.
Right.
There should be a new term for it. Like, we're not shtupping, but we still have the kids, so we're gonna co-parent, like everything's great for them, and we're gonna work our stuff out on the sidelines.
And might shtup from time to time.
Well, you know, I guess once a shtupper, always a shtupper.
Very wise words.
What I love about life is that because of the kids, you kind of keep working on it, you know? If you don't have kids, you just bail on each other and move on, and oh, that didn't work out, boo-hoo, and you live your separate lives. But when you have kids, you're forced to be together. You're forced to like have to grow. And I think you guys have grown so much. Why do you think you guys have nailed it so perfectly?
I think just because of the writing, because, you know, Amy Sherman-Palladino and Dan Palladino are so talented, and it's not like they would know anything about that. They don't have kids, and they're happily married, but they're just so talented. And yeah, it is tough. I mean, you know, Joel, his ex-wife Midge is living out his dream. So he kind of has to deal with that, but also find a new dream. And I do feel like they've really nailed it. I think it definitely feels real and authentic.
I mean, if I could have a nickel for all the guys that came through the club and, wanted to shtup, and yet they couldn't handle the fact that I was running the show, You like it 1 minute, and then you want to take it down the next and think about your own insecurities. It's like, come on, Aren't we here to all build each other up? And, I think the man-woman dynamic that plays out in this show is very, very rich, because comedy or no comedy, men and women, they fall in love with things, they grow, they change, and they got to deal with all the insecurities and complexities that come with that, only to realize maybe one day they could actually support each other, appreciate each other, and then expand on that.
Sure.
Do you think that's what you guys are doing in this show? It seems like that as a viewer.
So far, yeah. People always ask me, like, are Joel and Midge gonna end up together? And
yeah, that's the question everybody asks.
Yeah.
Do they just want them to get back together?
Right, and there's some competition. Zachary Levi played a character that everybody loved, and Lenny Bruce. Luke Kirby plays Lenny Bruce. And
you got the Milo.
Right.
They got a gentleman
Milo.
coming down the pike who's an old Amy Sherman Palladino alumni.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, they want this Joel and Midge, and I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I think history and chemistry are not to be underrated. But what's really not to be underrated is how you grow in this world together.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you grow apart and you come back together, or you grow alongside of each other. But no one can replace when you really know somebody.
Right.
Doesn't matter. That history, it really can't be contended with. So I love watching you guys.
Thank you, Mitzy.
You're welcome. And you're easy on the eyes, Toots. Now, you started the club. Are you liking it? What are you looking for when you see talent? What's one thing that you think, oh God, get the hook, get them off? Or one thing where you're like, yum, 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 yum.
I mean, talent is talent, isn't it? You know it when you see it. You're talking about Joel, or like?
Yeah, Joel. When Joel sees, he's living out his own dream. He wants to be a comedian.
Yeah.
But,
But he wasn't funny.
Funny.
Yeah, he was taking other people's material. And
well, no, you shouldn't steal. Stealing is wrong.
Yeah.
The karma will come. But now he has this club. What is, the ultimate goal with the club? Is it to shine lights on other people, or is it to have a safe haven to go when all this shit's happening in the world, and somewhere to forget about it?
I think for Joel, it's that, but it's also just to have a purpose. I think he was lost before. I think, like I said, he tried doing stand-up. That wasn't for him. He worked at a plastics company. That clearly wasn't for him. But I think he's creative. I do. I think he needs to be in something that is creative, and this is a great outlet for him. And if he also likes the business aspect of it, and so I think his ultimate goal is just to have a purpose and to be successful in that purpose.
I got to tell you, Zegen, and I don't give up compliments very easily, you got the goods. You really do. I mean it. I've been a longtime fan of yours. I always thought you had the goods. You're handsome, you're funny. If men only knew that the secret to a woman is making her laugh.